And we have some fresh inputs coming in on the story. Now, Israel has warned its citizens against travel to Egypt, Jordan and Morocco. So as the war between Israel and Hamas rages, now in the latest, what we're learning is that Israel has warned its citizens against travel to Egypt, Jordan and Morocco. So Israel has issued warning to its citizens against travel to Egypt, Jordan and Morocco. And the announcement from the National Security Agency, the Prime Minister's office and the Foreign Ministry says that it is raising the alert to Egypt and Jordan to a 4 and calling on all Israelis in the country to leave as soon as possible from there. So this is the latest input that we are receiving as far as the war between Israel and Hamas is concerned, that Israel has now warned its citizens against travel to Egypt, Jordan and Morocco. And we have CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra joining us on this story to tell us more about it. Siddhant, Israel has now issued a warning to its citizens against travel to Egypt, Jordan and Morocco. What more details do you have?
Well, as far as these two countries are concerned, Jordan and Egypt, these two countries are relatively considered safer for Jews and for Israeli citizens. But if Israel has issued advisory for its citizens to travel to these countries, then we can look at a possibility of this war getting expanded, or perhaps Israel has some information which makes him do this, because we are expecting Israel to launch ground operations in Gaza, in the northern side of Gaza, and in fact the infantry, heavy armored vehicle, tanks, all are ready to get inside the Gaza. And when Israel will do it, we can expect larger ramifications in terms of some of the West Asian countries reacting strongly to this. Even we can look at a possibility of war getting expanded and becoming a regional conflict if that happens. Maybe that is the reason that this travel advisory is right now being issued, warning Israeli citizens not to travel to these countries, and also if they are there, they need to be at the safer places. At the same time, there is a lot of sentiments brewing in Egypt and Jordan for the Palestinian people. In fact, there are also demands coming in, and in fact pressure is mounting on government to open the gates for these people so that they can come and take refuge on their territory. So given the sentiments brewing, and even if you remember that on the second or the third day of this war, there was an attack on Israeli national in Egypt by a police officer. So that also happened. So maybe that is one reason that this advisory has come from Israel at this point in time. Back to you.
Also, Siddhant, on the other hand, Egypt is going to hold a peace summit which will be aiming to de-escalate this war. What is the update on that?
Yes, look, there are some neutral players in West Asia which at times provide platform to the world powers and also to these countries to come together under one roof and perhaps discuss some sort of a solution to the situation. So Egypt and Jordan have already signed truce with Israel long time back, and they were in a cordial relations with Israel. So perhaps these two countries can provide a platform or can take up a role of a mediator. You see, Anthony Blinken met Mohammed Abbas in Jordan. So Jordan is also providing that platform. There was a summit which was cancelled because of the strike on the hospital. Otherwise, Biden would have met leaders from the West Asia. Now, the attempts are being given by Egypt to provide that platform, maybe to mediate and find a solution to what is happening. And Egypt also has a good understanding with America. In fact, Secretary Blinken met President Sisi, and both leaders, perhaps issued a joint statement also talking about their demands. Both leaders heard each other. And
all right, Siddhant, please stay with us as we're getting some more inputs on this story. And first aid trucks have entered besieged Gaza, and trucks carrying life-saving aid are beginning to cross at Rafah into Gaza. Now, this aid is a lifeline for those who are suffering. So, big update as far as the humanitarian aid is concerned. First aid trucks have entered besieged Gaza Strip, and trucks carrying life-saving aid are beginning to cross at Rafah border into Gaza. And remember, this aid is a lifeline for those who are suffering. And CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra continues to stay with us. So, Siddhant, big relief for the people who are in Gaza as the humanitarian aid has now started to reach Gaza Strip.
Well, yes, that's right. And in fact, this is what James Cleverly, the Foreign Secretary of England, have confirmed. Perhaps I think he's the first official to confirm this, that the trucks have started carrying life-saving aid inside Gaza. This aid is a lifeline for those suffering, but it cannot be a one-off. The UK continues to push for a humanitarian access to Gaza. Now, look, UK has also taken a very strong position and perhaps have been giving efforts to find solution to what is happening in West Asia. It was President of United States there in West Asia, and it was Prime Minister Rishi Sunak who also made it a point by coming to Tel Aviv and also going to Saudi Arabia to meet Mohammed bin Salman. Also met heads of state of other West Asian countries. So there is excessive diplomacy is in place by both by UK and US, and perhaps UK also considers Israel as a long-standing ally, and perhaps if you remember, the relationship goes back to First World War and 1918 when the first time UK proposed a separate country for Jews. So the relationship starts from there, and this is the reason that this time around, right before any other country taking strong position on the position for Israel, UK was the first few countries to come out and issue a statement, and Rishi Sunak was the first few leaders to make a statement. Now there is also, it looks like there is there's sort of a race between these nations also to announce that the trucks have started entering the Gaza Strip, and since obviously Rishi Sunak, who was there yesterday meeting leaders and perhaps giving efforts to resolve the issue, his foreign secretary is informing that the trucks have started entering inside Gaza. Looks like want to take a credit of the diplomacy that UK has been doing in West Asia from last 10 days, and perhaps also trying to prove a point that because of the UK's diplomacy and perhaps to bring everyone on the same page, this could have been possible. And that is perhaps one reason that this confirmation is coming from James Cleverly.
All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for giving us all those details. And as Israel-Hamas war rages on, Hamas released 2 American hostages, a mother and a daughter. Hamas spokesperson said that the decision was taken on humanitarian grounds, but the Israel's ambassador to the United Nations said that Hamas released the hostages to weaken the support for the expected group incursion by Israel. Now, meanwhile, US President Joe Biden welcomed the move and said that he wanted Israel to delay the ground invasion until more hostages are released.